Okay, good evening everybody. My name is Graham Dawson. I'm the Commercial and Technical Director for the Witham Group. We are one of the largest independent lubricant and paint manufacturers in the UK. We're privately owned, two families own the business and they're still very much involved in the day-to-day. Been going since 1921, so just over 100 years old, and employ around 50 people. We supply products into all sectors, agriculture, road haulage, marine, off-highway, to name just a few. And we're very honoured to be awarded a Royal Warrant from the King. We held one with the Queen for over 30 years and we've just had that renewed with the King. We turn over around £12 million a year. Blend 4 million litres of lubricants per year. Just put that in perspective, that's 3 oil tankers a week, every week. One of the big parts of our business is white label customers. So we support over 60 customers with that, as well as our own brands. We are, as far as we're aware, the only carbon neutral lubricant blending plant in the world. We actually blend our oils with ultrasound. Everybody else uses heat. And that's technology we developed and we sell and own. In terms of product lines, about 2,000 different products. When you take variants into that, we're in excess of about 18,000 now, with our customers' own, obviously, labels being variants of those. Deal with 25,000 sales orders annually and over 16,000 manufacturing orders. And we've got in a region of about 4,000 active customers. That's just a few of our customers that we deal with. Some names people will recognise, some they won't. So a lot of them are buying groups, so big agricultural buying groups that we deal with. So before Odoo, we used to use Microsoft AX 2009, which Microsoft stopped supporting some years ago. It was very heavily paper-based, and we relied a little bit on the Power Platform. So we built Power Apps, we used Power Automate, Power BI, various different methods to get the most out of AX, but really realised that AX wasn't really up to what we needed anymore. So we started looking around, and to start with, we looked at Dynamics, but very quickly realised it wasn't the right software for us. One of the failings we did find, it has a manufacturing function, but it has no quality control. And when we're making lubricants, everything we manufacture is quality controlled. So, but like I say, very heavily paper-based. All labels were manually produced, which basically meant somebody had to sit at a computer and produce them every time somebody ordered. Manufacturing orders were manually raised, manually amended, manually ended, and documents were manually scanned, and I'll go through the process in a second. So this is the old process. So we'd have a sales order, it would be input into the system, someone would then have to print a picking list. If we didn't have it in stock, somebody would have to manually raise a batch order. Those were then sent down the factory along with labels, batch labels and picking labels. Then they would all get picked and they'd get filled. Those batch orders would come back up to the office. Somebody would have to manually amend the batch numbers if they used a different batch to what the system thought. And that only relied on everybody writing those down, and then you'd find they didn't write them down. So you'd sort of lose your batch traceability a little bit if you weren't careful. They would then be passed to somebody else. 2 delivery notes would be manually printed. The driver would then load from the delivery note. Customer would keep 1 copy of the delivery note, and the customer would sign the other copy. That would come back to the office. I mean, this sounds bonkers. It sounds like we're talking about 1980, and we're only talking about 2.5 years ago. That would come back to the office. It would be allocated a POD as to who delivered it. We'd then manually raise an invoice and send that to the customer, mostly through the post. And then that delivery note was then scanned and stored electronically. So you can see there's lots of pieces of paper involved in that, lots of manual intervention, and therefore lots of things that could possibly go wrong. We were quite experienced, and we'd worked out the nuances where things might go wrong. With Odoo, so we went on to Odoo 2.5 years ago. Now you put a sales order in, doesn't matter whether we've got it in stock or not, Odoo deals with it. So everyone can put an order in, just click confirm. Odoo will automatically raise a batch order if we need it to, automatically reserve the stock, and all of our staff now pick on electronic devices. So there's no more paper involved in our picking or manufacturing process. And of course, what that means is that's instantly in the factory. As soon as that order's gone in, there's nobody got to take the paperwork down. It appears straight on the factory on the devices. Then obviously the team in the factory will pick that. One of the big things we had built into our Odoo was our customer label specifications and requirements. And with Smart, we integrated that into a system called Bartender. And what happens is now those labels are automatically generated via a CSV into Bartender. Bartender reads that CSV and produces a label. The team in the factory actually have no say over those labels. They can't choose what design it is. They can't choose the quantity to print. They can't choose which printer's used. All they say is, I need my labels, and click validate. The system takes care of everything else. It goes through a process. We still print a delivery note. We're from Lincolnshire. We've not had electric that long, so our customers still want a paper copy of a delivery note. But they get to keep that. And when we get to site to deliver, the customer actually signs for their delivery electronically. Before they've even got back to their office, the invoice will be in their inbox. So we've gone from potentially anywhere up to 20 pieces of paper for an order down to one. And like I say, we'd love to get rid of that one, but unfortunately our customers do still like what we do. Why did we choose Smart IT? Gold partner status was a big one for us. We looked at Odoo's website, who is gold partner in the UK, and it was between Smart and another at the time. They are now obviously the only gold partner in the UK. And, we met the team, and I think a lot of it's about people, and we got on well with them. They're a very similar family-owned business. And they had the expertise. They had the expertise we needed to bring that manufacturing process into the 21st century, really, let's say. So we had a full consultation with them, full gap analysis with all their specialists. Alongside our team, we sat in rooms for various times, showing them the process that we were doing and how we could benefit from Odoo's processes. So one of the biggest challenges for us, and our implementation took a little bit longer than probably most, is getting the data out of AX. The way we'd built AX and the products were very different to how Odoo can deal with products, mainly variants. We had no option for variants in AX. So we actually went through and obviously cleansed everything and then brought it all into Odoo in the format we wanted it in Odoo. So we weren't trying to make Odoo fit AX. We did the other way. We made our data fit how Odoo works, because Odoo was a lot smarter than AX ever was. But that was all our customers, all our pricing, all our stock, all our products, all our bill of materials had to change. And it was quite a big process, that. But we did that, Smart assisted, and we got all that data imported over a period of months. Smart, obviously, were there throughout the whole thing. They did all the coding for us, all the customization that we needed, where things weren't quite where we have a speciality in what we do, and we needed a bit more than what Odoo could do. One of the things we have is material safety data sheets. We have to issue them for every product. When somebody purchased it the first time, we actually built a process in that automates that for us in Odoo. So if a customer buys it, it will automatically send them the safety data sheet at the correct time. It will also send them it again if it's changed and they buy that product again. So it monitors the whole that whole process for us, and that alone is a whole person's role, really. Benefits of Odoo for us. I mean, firstly, the paper usage. Thousands and thousands of pages of paper we've saved. But not only that, because we've saved paper, we've saved cost on printing. Because we moved from posting, we've now no longer got a franking machine. We no longer post. We probably post 10 letters a week, whereas back in the AX days, we were probably posting 500, and that's a big saving, as we all know. So you're not printing those, you're not posting them, you're not putting them in an envelope. Few errors, without a doubt. The system won't let you do something unless it's right, and that's the beauty. They can't say they've used a batch number that doesn't exist on the system or that we have no stock of. They could easily do that on a piece of paper because they just write the batch number down, and they could write it down wrong. Some of these batch numbers we deal with are 16-digit batch numbers, so they're very easy to make a mistake. And it's all automated now. Everything's scanned. Improved efficiency. we used to employ a full-time equivalent to just process invoices. That person, one of those, it was a shared role, one retired and we didn't replace that person, and the other one just deals with the exceptions now. She only deals with the invoices where there might be an issue. It's got to be priced or there is no pricing, and the system again flags those. It won't allow us to invoice a zero value invoice without somebody checking it first. The biggest saving, without a shadow of a doubt, is our labelling process for our team down the factory. We actually did a test where we got everybody lined up, which never happens in real life, but we got everybody lined up to do a label on the old system, and I did it on the new system, and it took them 3 minutes to have a label printing. It took me 30 seconds, and I never left my desk. So you can see the saving over 16,000 orders annually is phenomenal, and less errors again, because they have no choice. All the data is stored and managed by the office in terms of the labelling requirements. They just need to click print. The other thing, we now don't hold stock of customers' labels. We used to have quite a few of them pre-printed, or we'd overprint labels. Now we print everything on blank labels, and we've taken that a step further. Now we actually laminate and cut labels on site as well. So, we cut labels on site. So if a customer changes their branding, the next time they have labels from us, they're in the new branding. There is no delay. There's no, let's use up the old stock. It's obviously cloud-based. We were on-premise before, so if, during COVID, that was a challenge. Whereas this one now, we don't need servers and anybody can access it from anywhere in the world. And of course, fully customizable, and the smart team are here and they know I love this, I love Studio, I'm always playing in Studio, and it's just little tweaks that we need to do as a business that just help us flow. And we've got a variety of age groups in our business, and everybody from young to old took hold of Odoo and absolutely loves it. And we actually ran the two softwares side by side for a period of a month before we went live, just to make sure we'd ironed out everything. So everything was duplicated on both systems. And what we found were they were using Odoo and ignoring the paper because it was quicker, easier and better. And you'd go down with a paper order and go, can you pick this? And they go, I've already done it. It's done. And and that was within a month. It was redundant, the paper. And we actually, when we went live, we obviously worked with the smart team to get all the final data implementations. We shut down our system on a Friday at 4:30, which when we finish, and we did the changeover at a weekend. I worked the Saturday, Sunday with a couple of team members, and we went live on the Monday, and we lost no downtime. Our lorries still rolled out at 7:30 on the Monday morning, fully loaded and on the new system, which was great, to have a system that you can just swap from one to the other, where the team saw no downtime, our customers saw no downtime, was great for us. Next step, that says version 18, it's actually going to be version 19 obviously now. There's lots of new integrations. We were going to go to 18, and then I saw the ESG model and changed my mind and wanted to go to 19 instead, so we've held out. We obviously want to integrate it with our website. We do have a web shop, and we want to obviously integrate that, whether that's via Magento or whether we actually just use Odoo's own website builder. We'll see. Fleet management, social media integration, what 3 words, customer, the list is endless. I have lots of ideas of what we want to do as a business, and we just continue to grow Odoo. I'm a very big advocate for it. I wouldn't be stood here if I wasn't, and the fact that we can keep customizing it is brilliant. So and we'll keep doing that with Smart, our partner. So that's pretty much my presentation. The cost savings, we got a quote for Dynamics and it was phenomenal, utterly phenomenal. And then when we came across Odoo, it was, what was it? Maybe 20% of the cost, if not 10% of the cost of Dynamics. And Dynamics still wouldn't have done everything we'd had to do. We'd have had to build a Power App for quality control. We'd have had to build Power Apps to fulfill the shortfall of Dynamics for us as manufacturers, whereas we've got everything we need in Odoo, and we'll continue to do it. So, any questions?
Yes. What did you do with all the time you saved?
To be fair, we've grown. So when we went live on our system, we had about 100 white label customers at the time. We've gone up to 160. I think we're probably near 180 now. We're bringing about 2 a week on as an average. And we've employed no more staff. So we made nobody redundant through the process. That was never the decision. We redeployed staff to more beneficial roles where they could bring value to the organisation rather than almost doing that kind of processing that Odoo could do for you. And yeah, we'd just be able to grow that white label business in the factory without any extra staff at all. So it's really helped us.
And did you see an increase in the rate at which you gain customers? Or was that not related to it? No,
the customer rate really hasn't been led by Odoo. You know, it's a different thing for us in the sales world. It's more about the processes and the efficiencies we've managed to bring in on the business side of things, the manufacturing. So, any other questions? No.
I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.